So, hi everyone, we're live and we'll start shortly. Just give me 2 minutes. So, imagine a world where justice is always within reach. No long waits, no geographical barriers, just swift and accessible solutions at any time. This is the vision of 24/7 online courts in India. But making this vision a reality isn't simple. There are real challenges to tackle, from ensuring reliable technology to bridging the digital divide and safeguarding data. So, how do we build a system that's efficient but also fair and inclusive for all? Today, our panel of experts will dive into these solutions, exploring how we can overcome these obstacles and create a justice system that truly serves everyone, anytime, anywhere. So let me introduce you to the panelists that we have here. We have Advocate Medhavin M. Bhatt, who's the managing partner at MV Law Partners. With over 16 years of expertise, Advocate Bhatt specializes in real estate, corporate law, litigation, and arbitration. He's recognized as one of Legal Media Group's 40 under 40 rising stars. We also have Advocate Parumita Majumdar. She is a litigation and dispute resolution specialist. Over 12 years of experience, Advocate Majumdar focuses on insolvency, banking, and intellectual property matters, delivering ethical and tailored solutions to her clients. We have two more panelists who will be joining us shortly. Once they've joined, I'll introduce them to you. Before we begin our panel discussion, I would just like to show you a small video about Esther, and then we can begin.
In a world where time is precious, getting swift access to legal help shouldn't be a privilege, but a right. Welcome to Rest the Case, India's most trusted online platform for legal solutions. We are transforming the legal tech landscape, bridging gaps, and bringing legal support to anyone, anywhere, at any time. The legal field in India can be overwhelming. Courts are crowded, the search for the right legal help is confusing, and legal fees can be unpredictable. Many litigants face trust issues, uncertain about finding a lawyer who truly understands their needs. Rest the Case solves this by providing verified lawyer profiles, making it easier than ever to find trusted legal support.
We all are aware of that lawyers are not allowed to advertise themselves, right? But again, they do need something else going on from their routine practice, just so that there are people who actually know about them, so that they can reach out to them without any hassle and easily.
That's where Rest the Case steps in. From consultations to document drafting and court representation, our digital platform brings legal expertise to your fingertips.
The legal ecosystem is a triangle: judiciary, litigant, and the lawyer. But we are touching the litigants, both B2C, retail, and B2B corporates, and the lawyers. So our tools will make life simpler for litigants, retail, by helping them reach the right lawyers. We are using GenAI, we are creating an improved matching system. And for B2B, which is for startups and mid-level corporates, we are helping them by doing tasks like document draft creation, also other aspects which relates to their internal process improvement.
Powered by cutting-edge technology, our platform leverages AI to match users with the most suitable lawyers. Based on expertise and location, from its start, Rest the Case has grown rapidly. With a presence across India, our mission is to provide legal accessibility everywhere, from big cities to smaller towns.
Our vision is to make legal support accessible and affordable for everyone in India. Our journey began in the lockdown, where suddenly people did not know what to do or where to find the right legal support. We then realized that this is not just a pandemic issue. This is an issue that people face every day and everywhere. That's how Rest the Case was born. We bridged the gap between a lawyer and a client to give them a reliable place to find the right legal help.
Rest the Case, because every case deserves the right support.
Right. So thank you so much for watching our video. So let's begin our discussion. The first question that I would have to our panelists is, given the current legal infrastructure, what is your perspective on the feasibility of implementing 24 by 7 online courts in India? So anyone can take up this question. Um, I think Mr. Medhavan, you're not audible.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. A very good evening to all of you all, and a very special warm welcome and a very good evening to my co-panelists. So I'll take the question. The implementation of 24 by 7 online courts in India has moved beyond mere possibility to become a practical necessity. If you realize, our judiciary has already demonstrated its adaptability during the COVID 29 pandemic, successfully conducting over 2 crores of virtual hearings. This real world experience has proven that our legal infrastructure can support digital transformation. The eCourts Mission Mode project has established a very strong foundation, and with the proper planning, we can surely implement a phased out rollout starting with the district courts, though the high courts have already implemented the hybrid virtual system. The existing digital infrastructure, combined with increasing internet penetration and technological literacy among legal professionals, makes this transition feasible in the current environment. That's my take on the question.
I'll just quickly introduce Saurabh before we can begin because he's joined us. So, Advocate Saurabh Sharma, he's the head of JSSP Legal. With 2 decades of legal experience, Advocate Sharma leads JSSP Legal and he's named most trusted law firm of the year 2024 and is renowned for his strategic expertise and adaptability. So, welcome, sir. And just so that even Advocate Saurabh knows what the question is when what we were discussing, is that I wanted to know what is, given the legal infrastructure, what is your perspective on feasibility of implementing 24/7 by courts? I believe Parvita ma'am wanted to speak something on that. No, sorry, ma'am, you're not audible.
Am I
No, I think.
audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
All right. So, with permission of Ms. Majumdar, I would answer that question. Well,
Yeah.
feasibility of online hearing of cases is a cumbersome task given the infrastructure and the poor uh, conditions of the courts in basically in district, in rural and semi-rural, semi-urban areas of India. Because in various courts we often hear that even the electricity is not there. So what do we talk about the 24/7 online infrastructure to hear those cases? Right. So it is quite a cumbersome task. It is only with a joint effort of the bar associations and the government at large, and some NGOs which have their agenda, which have their aim to provide justice, doorstep justice. Only then it can be an effective remedy.
Thank you so much for your input. So, adding to what you had to say, my next question then would be, how can online courts complement the traditional judicial system, without compromising quality and accessibility to everyone? Even thinking about the issues that Advocate Saurabh mentioned.
Uh, shall I answer that question, or Mr. Bhatt has to answer?
You can take it
Please.
forward. I'll add to it if required.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that, as I said, infrastructure is the major point here. So, if
Yeah.
there is a provision for a doorstep or a mobile facility for the infrastructure to go from door to door, so that the courts, e-courts, are accessible to people where it is not accessible at all, because there are people who are illiterate. They hardly know the language. How do you expect them to operate the e-courts system,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that infrastructure has to be made accessible to them. If that can be sorted out, only then
Okay.
it is feasible.
Okay. So according to you, there has to be infrastructure accessible to everyone, even in
Yes,
rural areas. Okay.
yes.
But do you have anything to add to that?
I'll just like to add that online courts can actually work in harmony with traditional courts through a carefully hybrid system. The Bombay High Court has actually implemented a hybrid system of hearings,
Hmm.
which I think needs a proper procedure in place. A lot
Right.
of judges have implemented it and are actually following it effectively.
So you believe a hybrid system would be the best approach here,
Yes, I believe that's the
right?
future.
So I believe we can. Okay, great. So I think we can pass on the next question to Advocate Paromita if she is audible.
Am I audible now?
So my next question. Yeah, 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 you're audible. So
Okay,
I
thank you.
can direct the next question to you
Since
then.
we are talking
Yeah.
about
Um,
converting it to online basis, and we ourselves are not able to connect to you through this way of internet.
yeah, we
So
are
we
seeing the
are really
changes
behind
live.
the, yeah, the development
Yeah.
we are talking about right
But
now.
yeah, but great to have you. I'm glad that you're audible now. So I'll just direct the next question to you, which is about the infrastructure, technological infrastructure. So what do you think are the primary challenges we would have in creating, reliable and secure platforms for 27 online courts? So primarily thinking about technology, what according to you are the main challenges we would face?
The challenges in the sense that we really need a robust platform to upload various files, including scanned documents, images, and multimedia, which usually becomes very difficult for us to upload because sometimes the softwares which are there in place right now are unable to read those documents and they just reject them, or probably and it actually increases the time for filing of a petition, especially when there's an urgency in a matter where the client is, in a situation where he needs urgent release from the court. So in such situations, we do not have enough time to translate these documents or maybe type these documents and then file them. So that is the main, I think that is the first and pivotal issue where we really need to divert our focus to. And then there needs to be an integration of digital signature authentication for document validation. Today what happens is, as I am primarily practicing in Supreme Court, you must have heard about the recent case in which an AOR had filed a wakalatnama and it was a fake wakalatnama. So, in such cases, if you really authenticate the signatures of the client, and you have an e-signature option there, then it becomes easier for the registry also to pass on such matters based on the already filtered signatures, so that they don't have to doubt the signatures on such petitions. Then there should be mechanisms for online fee payments. I think some of them are already there in the higher courts, high courts and Supreme Courts, but district courts are still lacking. In fact, consumer forums are still lacking in that way. Then e-notice issuance via emails, WhatsApps. I think the courts must now start issuing the notices through online platforms. We should it should be recorded in the orders that the notice can also be issued through WhatsApp by the court registry, not by the lawyer. Then there should be tamper-proof document storage systems to prevent data breaches or forgery. Many times, some confidential data is submitted before the courts for as evidence. So such documents are very important, and they need a proper, data system which can maintain the confidentiality. So in such cases, we need very very strong and robust technological system which can prevent these documents to be to be leaked. And then we need advanced indexing systems for easy document retrieval and review. So these are some technical issues which we have the I call them technical hurdles which we first need to overcome in order to really convert it into a completely online system, the judicial system. But I think it is going to take a lot of time, given the kind of experiences which we are practical experiences, which Mr. Medhavan and Mr. Saurabh will also agree with me, that we are still not ready for a complete online judicial system, because day in day out we are facing challenges, like in one of my cases when I appeared before the court. So the court couldn't hear me, and I was just muted by the honorable judge. So I really couldn't make my submission on that very day, leading to disappointment for the client. So I think, yeah, these are really really bigger challenges which we need to first overcome. That's all I have to say about this question. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I guess the
You're
host
audible.
is not audible.
We can't hear Rachna, I think.
A prime example of the challenges that we face on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Yeah, am
But
I
we
audible
couldn't
now?
agree more. But we couldn't agree more. eCourt's website is uh, every time we need it the most, it is not accessible at all. Even Mr. Bhatt
Yes.
would agree.
I
Every
certainly
time
agree.
we need, every time we need to file a case, the eCourt's server goes down. It doesn't work. The
Yes.
documents are often not uploaded correctly. So Ms. Majumdar has made a very valid point here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's
Thank
like a printer that knows that you need to print something urgently and it refuses to work.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, these small issues, I think they are small. One is small, but then if you club them together, they become really large issues. And then to scale these to 24/7, then is another whole issue, I think.
I
Uh,
believe these are all teething issues that we are facing.
yeah,
I believe once the system is in place, I am
yeah.
sure 24 by we are not that far away from
But
having a
Mr.
legal
Bhatt, I would like to add something. More than the infrastructure, the intention has to be seen.
very well. Very
I'm residing at Gurgaon, and here at the district courts, I think all over in Haryana, ई कोर्ट्स के नाम पर यहाँ पर पेन ड्राइव में दे टेक अ सॉफ्ट कॉपी ऑफ द केस एंड इट इज ओनली फाइल्ड along with the main file. It is not even uploaded to an e-courts portal. Ms. Majumdar is laughing at my suggestion, but this is a hard fact. This
No,
is
no,
the
no,
way
no.
they function.
I completely agree with you, Mr.
This
Sharma,
is
because I did a filing in Gurgaon and I faced this
yes,
issue.
yes. This is how they upload. They keep a soft copy of the file. It is not even uploaded on the e-courts app. What to talk about e-courts functioning?
Correct.
तो द इंटेंशन हैज टू बी देयर इन प्लेस. सिर्फ फाइल का पेट भरने के लिए या जस्ट फॉर द पर्पस सेक ऑफ फॉर्मेलिटी इट इज नॉट टू बी डन. इट हैज टू बी seen that it gets done in reality. The high courts have a major role here to play.
Absolutely.
Right.
it
And
needs
then,
more effective implementation.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
In fact, I'll tell you, in here in Delhi courts, also in district courts, Saket Court, Patiala House Court, T Hazari Court, you first file it online. Then, until you submit a hard copy to the court register, the Almad, the matter doesn't get listed. So
Yes,
it
but that
doesn't
is
serve the purpose only.
no, but that is still the process of it.
No,
That
no, but
is the
if it
process
can't
of
get
it.
listed without filing a hard copy, if it can't get listed, then what's the use of the filing and getting that listed expeditiously?
No,
We
I
want
think we are slightly digressing from the issue today at hand, because we are discussing how 24 online proceedings can be made accessible to each and everyone, so that the
yes,
traditional system of litigation is uh, complemented.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
if we will only focus on the filing part of it, then obviously we will digress
Yes,
from
yes,
the
yes.
initial, I
So
guess.
we can move
So
ahead with the next question,
yes,
Pratik.
certainly,
So
certainly.
if I may then move on to the next question or next issue at hand, is then do people think that
Yes, sure.
um, the data privacy and data, threat would be an issue that would come across in online handlings? Do you think there are data security and privacy concerns that would arise because of this? And how do you think they can be addressed? Anyone can take this up. Advocate, would you like to add to it?
See, data privacy is certainly a big challenge. The manner in which the data are getting leaked today is phenomenal, and we've never seen this. And data is the future. So for that, we will have to have a proper system in place. For example, we can use AI as our friend and develop a system wherein, for example, you can use biometric scans or fingerprint scanners or such other technology wherein, everything is verified before things are uploaded, and only people with these certain parameters should have access to the data which is uploaded online.
Mhm. So layer the security measures so that
Yes.
there there are many steps people have to go through.
Yes, the way banks have two way
Yeah,
of
two-step
authentication and verification.
authentication. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any other panelist would like to add to that? Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
as far as the data handling part is concerned, there has to be some security technical advancement has to be there.
mhm,
Something, some Aadhaar linked, as I guess Mr. Bhatt has also suggested, this kind of a security step only. But more
yeah,
than that, there has to be some security password or something has to be there, because these soft copies will easily be accessible over the eCodes app, and they are prone to be hacked. They are more prone to be hacked because they are in public domain.
right.
So Digital Data Protection Act will also come, as it is a new legislation. Still there, it is at an advancement stage, but questions will always be posed, and it will be subject to interpretation by the courts.
Yeah. Advocate Paramita, did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, as Sir has rightly pointed out, Mr. Sharma. So basically, what I believe is that this data encryption needs to be channelized, needs to be more stronger than before. We need to come up with new softwares which are dealing with strict data encryption, end-to-end encryption, so that no communication or no confidential document gets leaked, or maybe at likelihood to get leaked. And specifically the evidence part, because lot many times in the evidence many photographs are also there which are submitted before the court for evidence purposes. So such photographs, sensitive documents and photographs, they really need to be protected. So we need to
Right,
work on the data encryption part. And as Mr. Sharma has pointed out, the Act of 2023 is at its nascent stage. It needs to get implemented in a proper manner.
right. And do you think that online courts or having these online 24/7 courts can help manage the backlog that currently we have in the system of cases?
Well, it does speedify the process at least, because it's in place in Delhi, and there even the bail bonds are accepted online. So there
Yeah.
is no need to go physically in the court and furnish them. So it
Mhm.
does escalate the process, and it does help in complementing the traditional judicial litigation.
Right. Yeah.
I'd
Do
like to
you?
add to it. See, online courts are like, adding extra lanes to a congested highway. They
Mhm.
increase the capacity and speed up the traffic. With digital systems, we can certainly process these cases faster through automatic filing and intelligent scheduling. As my learned friend rightly pointed out, the bail applications with the Delhi High Court has developed a procedure. So multiple virtual courtrooms can, operate simultaneously. Judges can handle many cases from different jurisdictions in the same cities. It's about
Yeah.
working smarter, not just harder, to tackle the backlog of about 5 crore cases in our system.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yes. And then coming to, talking about the lawyers, the judges, the court staff who will actually use this technology, do you think that the people who are in the system are able enough, or do you think that they need some more training and skills development to be able to utilize these new technologies or these new systems that we're talking about? You can pick it up.
This
I
training
will get back and then
training
I.
is training is necessary, and it is already being done. When e-courts were implemented, training was done of the judicial officers, and even there were facility district courts also who were not aware of the infrastructure, who were not very well equipped with operating a desktop, like senior lawyers have been practice. There are, but it has to be more accessible. Still there is need to be make it more accessible and easier to use, for that matter, because as we are
Right.
progressing towards the online video conferencing system, it instead of making it more user friendly, they are making it more cumbersome. The rules of filing are being made more problematic for the lawyers in the first place.
Hmm.
They find it very the rules which they have made for filing an online case and getting it listed, it is becoming more problematic than ever. So simplification is the key here.
Right. Right. Anyone else would want to add to that?
No, I agree with Mr. Sharma.
To point out, I would like to give a suggestion here
Yeah.
that I think this training needs to be given on academic level. Before
Hmm.
the students pass out from their law schools, there should
Right.
be. I haven't heard from any of the laws. I being participating in as a judge in various moot courts. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that there is any subject in which they are given specific training with regards to online hearings, online courts, online arguments, online filing. Right. So the law students specifically need to at least have one or two or three sessions of probably 2 3 hours in which they get to know the court and judicial system which is running through online mode, right? So
Right.
that even during their internships they are able to handle it well, because we have interns who still do not know the procedure of online hearing, or probably who get who fumble when we talk about online filings or something. And
Hmm.
also for young judges who are becoming magistrates and all, they also need, in judicial academies also, they need to be trained on this way as to how to see a case through online mode, and how to accept the filings and how to scroll through the documents. They
Right.
need to get it at that very stage, at the stage of training as for judicial officers. So I think training needs to be done at the level of uh, when they are students, right?
Yeah.
From that stage only, if they learn, then once they enter into the profession, it becomes easy for them to catch with the things.
Got it. Got it. And thinking about, now we're talking about all the technology and the different kinds of training that will be needed. Do you think this is cost wise going to be something that is going to be a challenge for the judiciary to apply? Do you think it is possible and it is doable? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the
Would you?
government has already proposed a sum of 7,000 odd crores for this e-court mission. So I
Yeah.
think with the help of the fund which the government is raising,
Yeah.
and with also the help of some PPPs, public private partnerships, where the private persons can also fund these kind of schemes. I
Right.
don't think monetary wise we are going to face any challenges, because most of the people really want it to be technologically based, But
Yeah.
and the investment which is required, I don't think India is lacking anywhere in raising that kind of fund for a cause like this.
Right.
In fact, it is going to take us to an advanced stage because many nations in the world are already running online course, and probably it will give us a a higher status in the world as well if
Yeah.
we develop it. Yeah.
So I also then would like to ask advocate part, what do you think, like with the cases, then types of cases, do you think there are some cases which should stay, in the traditional courts, and do you think there are only some kind of cases that could be online? Do you think there should be that demarcation?
Yes, as I said, all the courts will eventually have to follow hybrid model. Online courts are perfect for what I call paper-heavy, people-light cases. So when it involves certain matters like bail applications, traffic violations, consumer disputes, matters involving senior citizens or parties who are residing abroad, these kind of hearings can happen online. Whereas matters which are which require physical presence, or which are in terms of very complex trials, or which requires extensive examination of witnesses or hearings, they should remain in traditional court. So honestly, it's like having fast food and fine dining restaurants. Each serves its purpose, and both are necessary for the system to work efficiently.
Understood. Yeah, yeah. Good.
I would like to add something
Yeah,
here. It is not about that we cannot categorize the cases that these kind of cases should be dealt in the traditional
yeah,
manner. These kind of cases should be dealt by a video conferencing. There are certain stages of each case. In the miscellaneous proceedings and argument stage, obviously a video conferencing would be a more accessible and easy way of handling the cases. But as rightly pointed out by Mr. Bhatt, where there is an extensive evidence to be laid, where there are documents to be pointed out to the witnesses, it cannot be effectively done by any stretch of imagination through a video conferencing, even though by following the procedures laid down by the various high courts for conducting the evidence through video conferencing. Because if I am conducting an evidence in Delhi and the witness is in Assam and there the infrastructure is not as good as Delhi, or there is someone prompting the witness there, how do I know about it? So it has to be done through physical mode. So it is the stage of the case which should decide how it should be dealt.
yeah. So I think we can move to some of the questions that we have, which I think will help us summarize our discussion also. So one of the questions which I would like to start by is: are there international examples of 24/7 online courts that we can learn from, if you're aware, or any system that has worked which we can kind of integrate in India? Anything that you would like to add?
See, I feel there are many international models of online court. Not sure about 24 by 7, but there are a lot of other international models. For example, the US. In the US, many states have launched portals to mediate cases in small claims, consumer disputes, family, etc. Even the Supreme Court of China, it has ordered that courts at all levels should guide litigants to file cases or mediate disputes online, encouraging judges to make full use of online litigation. For that matter, even the Supreme Court of Singapore has issued guidelines for using audio and video conferencing for hearing of matters. This COVID 2019 pandemic has changed the way the judiciary looks at the digital world. There were many acts which were implemented. For example, the UK Coronavirus Act 2020, Singapore COVID-19 Temporary Measures 2020. They have shown that detailed legislations which lay down the contours of measures essential in the judiciary, albeit on a temporary basis, are desirable over ad hoc measures being taken by different courts, as it is happening in India.
Yeah.
So definitely, there is a vast potential for Indian judiciary to learn from these international examples.
Yeah. Anything to add there, other panelists?
I would
Should I?
only say that yes, there are obviously examples to follow.
Yeah.
The only changes which I am again emphasizing upon is the intention of the system to
Right.
implement those steps.
Right.
If the intention is there in place, then everything will fall into place.
Got it.
That
Got
would
it.
be my point.
Okay. And so the next question that I have, and you can start with this, Advocate Sharma, is how do you see the integration of technology transforming the judiciary in the next 10 years? So, future wise, how do you see this panning out for us?
Yes, of course, the digitalization of courts and online courts via video conferencing will obviously help in reducing the number of cases. It will obviously help in escalating the process the cases are handled with. It will obviously help in making it more transparent, the process of filing and hearing more transparent. But the only thing is, if the infrastructure will not be there to complement it,
Right.
it can only be achieved through a intention and infrastructure. Only then it can be a success story.
Right. Advocate Paramita, would you like to add anything to that?
I think there'll be, uh, if you talk about the future and if we see it going completely online system based, then I think on four counts we are uh, going towards a developed stage.
Right.
So first, I feel there'll be increased efficiency and accessibility through advanced technology. Everybody will feel included. Everybody will feel that we can access the courts and we have more access towards the justice delivery system, which will
Yeah.
become really really transparent, right? So giving very very low scope to any kind of doubt or suspicion with regards to the justice delivery system. Then there'll be reduction in the case backlog with faster streamlined processes. The cases will get disposed of very in a faster manner. For example, I believe that cases like claims filed by MSME, they are very direct. They just file their bills, pending bills, and the tribunal just goes through those bills and passes an order, passes an award in their favor. So there's not a lot of question of law involved in these such kind of cases, like consumer disputes, like matrimonial issues, like the Honorable Supreme Court is allowing all the husbands to appear online because there's not a lot of question of law involved in such cases. You can always appear online and get the cases disposed of. So it is definitely going to help us reduce the backlog and reduce the timings which is taken to decide a case. Then there
Yeah.
will be enhanced inclusivity with language translation, assistive technologies, and simplified user interfaces. There'll be, as you know, in the Supreme Court also, there's a provision that when somebody appears, the online, you can actually see the translations of the cases on the online portal, so that every person who can't read English can also understand what is falling from the courts, right? So, and the fourth aspect is greater transparency, which is again related to the above three aspects which I mentioned. So when there is full transparency, there is full confidence in the judiciary, and I think that is what we are really foreseeing as of now. Uh, if it completely becomes a technology-based system, yeah.
Right. Right. Um, yeah. So thank you so much for answering
I
that.
guess there is just one thing
So
that
as we
we all missed
conclude
out.
this, I would like, yeah,
I guess
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
just one thing that we all missed out today, that video conferencing is also enabling the alternate dispute resolution methods more than the litigation, because arbitration and mediations are far more accessible and more speedier than ever through the video conferencing systems wherever they are in place. So that is one point I wanted to add. Mr. Bhatt would also agree with me.
I certainly
Yes,
agree, Mr. Sharma.
I
Thank
also
you.
agree, Mr. Sharma.
Yes, thank you so
right,
much.
yeah. So, as I think we have covered mostly a lot of the issues and a lot of how the future looks like, I would finally like to have remarks from each of the panelists, and give your final thoughts on this topic. That would be great. Anyone can start.
Sure, I'll go ahead then.
Sharma, I
I
think this is
certainly feel
most.
I certainly feel that the future is definitely hybrid, and it's going to be a seamless integration of physical and digital courts. If this integration and when this happens, it could revolutionize India's judicial system, making it more efficient, accessible, and transparent. By operating round the clock, online courts can address this massive backlog of cases, ensuring timely justice.
Yeah.
And that's all from me.
Yeah. Advocate Saurabh, would you like to go?
No, my brother has very rightly put it. I don't think there's anything else to be added. The only 2 points that I have kept on highlighting throughout are infrastructure and the intention to put the efforts there.
Right.
That is all.
Right. Yeah. Advocate Paramita, what would you like to say to conclude this discussion today?
Well, I think it is going to be a wonderful experience if it works, and if in future we see courts completely shifting to the online basis. But
Yeah.
yes, it needs a lot of training on all the ends, both for the lawyers, the judges, the law students, and I think it is going to reduce the burden of the judiciary for sure,
Right.
which is currently actually overburdened with so many cases pending. And yes, I think we are looking forward to it.
Right. So I think with that we can conclude our discussion, and thank you so much for all your insights. And it was a really interesting discussion. And as we wrap up, I think it's clear that scaling 24/7 courts is about more than technology. It's also about the people that are involved. It's about ensuring that everyone, regardless of where they are or who they are, have equal access to justice. So I think by addressing the challenges that we've talked about, we can build a system that truly delivers fairness and hope, and we can ensure that no one is left behind in the pursuit of justice, and we can have speedy justice to everyone. And so with that, I think we can conclude today's discussion. And I would again like to thank all our panelists for their time and for their insightful inputs. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure
Thank you
being a
so
part
much.
of this. Thank you to
Yes.
my learned friends.
Thank you, my learned colleagues. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma and Mr. Midhavan. Thank you, Rachna.